Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
How are you all?
Great.
Great.
Great, ma'am.
Good to hear this. I have shared a screen, and obviously, the heading is also written here. It says animal, right? I'm showing you a number of animals on screen with a purpose. You all recognize them because you've been reading these animals about since you were in kindergarten. You already know them, right? You watch National Geographic, if you watch Discovery, you probably may have more knowledge than me because again I feel I'm a layman, doesn't know much. But you all can recognize what all these animals are. I am going to start an interesting poem called Animals today. This poem is written by Walt Whitman, where he explains animal. We'll be figuring it out what he has explained in the poem. But before jumping onto to the poem straightway, I have a few questions to ask. And they are very basic questions. You already know the answers. You just have to respond. Yeah. The first question is what do you think animals do? What do animals do? What do animals do? Please give response. There are so many animals on screen. What do they do?
Hunting.
They hunt. Very good. And
They live for survival.
correct. They live for their survival. Correct. Very nice.
Protect from others.
They protect themselves from others and they protect us also from others. Yes. Others. There are so many images that are reflecting upon a lot of things. Just think about it. What do you get from this monkey's expression? What do you see this camel's cubs are doing? See how the tiger, sorry, how the lion and this little girl are reflected. What are they doing? What is this doing here? These migratory birds. So many things are there. And so much of work they do. Right? They have a life of their own. They live peacefully in the wild. They survive with their own means. They are not dependent on others. They hunt for themselves. They rear their family. They protect themselves and the family members too. They are strong. They are powerful. They're not afraid. I have a list of things that I would like to show. It says that human, just like human, that work for food, labor, fiber protection, and other things, animals are the hunters of the animal kingdom, right? They're not dependent on other human or animals for their life. But what do a man do?
Ma'am,
What?
they use them for their needs.
Destroy the nature.
Okay. And
For selfish.
they are selfish. Okay. Think about it. There are so many participants here. I want to hear their answers from maximum of you. Gaurang, what do man do?
They kill animals for their greediness.
Okay, they are greedy. Okay. Priyanshi, are human any better than animals? Are human any better than animals? Be human. Avni, are we better?
Humans are intelligent than animals.
Okay, so human is intelligent. Yes. So animals are not, right? So if you go
Ma'am,
close to them,
human is intelligent technically, but animals are also
right,
because you make use of animals. You
right,
cannot deny them.
correct, very correct. Obviously, our intelligence is shown in the activities we do in terms of education, in terms of a career option or something. But they also are intelligent because they are living in the wild, protecting themselves, procuring things for their use, making needful preparations for today and for tomorrow. And whatever they do is also respectful and it shows that they are intelligent and wise too, right? I'm starting a poem called Animals today, where Walt Whitman speaks about the qualities of animals that are far above than humans. Because he feels, poet feels, that human has degraded itself over the years for its selfish needs. But man is not bothered even today. While animals have been keeping those tokens of or the qualities that were given to them when they were descended. They are not forgotten. They are keeping it to themselves intact, just like they were given originally. I'm sharing screen for the poem. We'll go a simple reading. We'll do a simple reading of the text. And half of the thing will be conveyed automatically to you. The other half, I'm there to extend. It begins like this. I think I could turn and live with animals. They are so placid and self contained. I stand and look at them long and long. You all have your textbook already. You can write down the meaning there. Placid means calm and patient, relaxed, easygoing, peaceful. While self contained means self sufficient. They know how to control themselves, they know how to control their life, they know how to manage their livelihood. So, poet says, I am ready to live like animals and I'm thinking of giving up my human form the way I am living as a human. Because when I looked at them, I stood there long and kept staring at them, thinking about what all they have. He says, long and long I stood there and I realized that these are so genuinely nice, peaceful. It does not mean that animals don't fight. Yes, they fight, but they fight for their survival. It's not like any Tom, Dick, and Harry attacks any other. No, especially in animals, it is not the case. If they fight either for protection or for survival. Or if they have to hunt, again, that talks about survival. So poet says in these three lines that I looked at the animals, I found that they were better because they were really peaceful and satisfied with whatever they had. And looking at them made me realize that I can live with them and there's no problem with it. You may say that he's an animal lover, maybe. He has a number of animals in his private zoo, if he had any, but that's not the case here. He's simply stating the fact that man has every reason to hurt, harm, question others. But animals, they don't seek answers for those questions, and nor did they bother. They are minding their business, they are doing their jobs. The next few lines are even interesting. They do not sweat and whine about their condition. They don't lie awake in the dark and weep for their sins. They do not make me sick, discussing their duties towards God. No one is dissatisfied. Not one is demented with a mania of owing things. In these lines, you will see that how man has been degraded. How in these lines, the poet explains that man has degraded itself to this level. And what do humans do? Human always keep crying about, oh my God, I didn't get this. Oh, I lost this. I haven't achieved this much. Oh, what about those luxuries and everything that he does not have? So this greed, this selfishness of human is making them cry about things that they don't really possess. But with animals, they don't really cry about, or they don't really look for options of getting their conditions improved. In sense that they are always satisfied with what they have. They don't have to save things for future because they know they are self-sufficient. And if they can do it today, they can do it tomorrow as well. Remember the poem Tiger in the Zoo, where the tiger in the zoo was offered food but was not ready eating. And that is what talks about their self-reliance. They're self-sufficient. He further says, they don't lie awake in the dark and weep about their sin. Sometimes it happens with human when they do some sinful activity, when they have done some ethically, morally, religiously incorrect conduct, they always have a regret in their life that, oh, I did that, I shouldn't have done this. Everybody cries for their sins against the nature, against other human, against the moral ethical code of conduct. Only man does. Animals never do this. He further says that animals never really go out and announce in front of everybody that I did this duty to God. If you have a duty towards God, you have to keep it. If you're performing a duty, you have to keep it to yourself. But man is so shallow that he keeps announcing, oh, I had this bandara. I visited, I give this much in charity. I went there and I helped thousands of people. I had langar, I had this, I had those. Why do we say this? Because human want recognition for his work. Because human want to show that is powerful, that is wealthy. He must be respected in the society. And for that false prestige, false respect, he keeps on crying about, he keeps on saying about, he keeps on announcing about his deeds. But in animals, there is not a single one who is not satisfied. There is not a single one who's crazy, who's mad about owing things. He says that there is no mania. Mania is what? A craziness. He says nobody is that crazy for the materialistic things that they'll be leaving behind after death. But man is. If I have a 2 BHK flat, I want a 3 BHK, 4 BHK. If I have a 4 BHK, I would plan to have a bungalow. If I have a four-wheeler, just a basic one, I would prefer to have, or I'll desire to have an Audi or maybe a Rolls Royce. Because man is like this. He's always after something or the other. He always wants more and is never contented, is a never at rest. He further says that in animals, no real animal can be seen bowing down to another animal. He says no one kneels to another, nor to his kind, and that lived thousands of years ago. Not one is respectable or unhappy over the whole earth. So they show their relations to me and I accept them. They bring me the tokens of myself and invites them plainly in their possession. The poet says that I have never seen an animal bending down to another animal or any other form of animal that had lived today or maybe thousands years ago, just like man does. You request, you plead, you urge to human hope, sir, please allow me. Sir, please grant me leave. Sir, please give me this, give me that, forgive me. So there's always a give and take thing that man is after and is ready to bow down, to bend down against any other human or any other human form that has ever existed. Man does, animal never. When two tigers are fighting, nobody kneels down. Have you ever seen? Anyone? No, never. He further says that with these animals, they are never really unhappy about the entire, oh my goodness, she got so much, I did get this much. So there's always this contentment in their mind, which is why they're not bothered with the achievements of others. And they're not unhappy, oh my God, the world is like this and the world is like that. Nobody really cries about the scenario because everybody is minding their business. That is why they are in a more better state. Which is why he says that it is important to have the little happinesses in life rather than focusing on the extended, elongated, or maybe overstretched worries of life. He says that if man understands that how he has to treat another man, he will get the respect from other humans as well. But certainly there's always a division, a divide in the society we see, and that divide really divides everything. The last two lines are amazingly great. Acha, sorry, this last two lines of here also I missed. He says, when animals show me their relation, I accept them and I'm really happy the way they are reflecting upon their relations to others. It's not like on face value, I'm showing that XYZ person is my favorite, while at his back, I'm backbiting. Animals never do this. If they are friendly, they are friendly. If they are not, they don't let anybody else join their herd even, their group even. He further says that I wonder why they go with those tokens. Tokens here refers to the qualities, the virtues. The poet says, I really wonder how did they get those tokens? How did they get those virtues? Is it like everybody was given the same when we descended on earth, but probably man has forgotten over the years what was given to him? Did I pass the way huge times ago and negligently drop them? The qualities of innocence, kindness, respect, friendly nature, care is genuine, It is the time when man has to introspect, when has to question, are we going on the right path? Is it the right thing to do? Are we not demeaning ourselves? Is it what is expected of our birth? Poet has very beautifully highlighted the evils of man and the virtues of animals. I hope you like the poem. I request everybody to read the poem once again. We'll be discussing about the poetic devices in the next class along with the notebook activity that is already ready. The script will be shared on your ERP as well as your personal group. You are all requested to read the poem once again and bring me your doubts, bring your suggestions to me so that we can have a more discussion about this. Have a good day, guys. This is all from my side. Thank you so much. We'll be meeting now in the next class. You have your next exam now in next 3 minutes. So all the best. Bye-bye.